since this is going to be released as an actual episode of this freaking show, I guess I could take this opportunity to remind you guys that all episodes of this freaking show is brought to you by Audible.com. If you guys are just like me, you're just not a huge fan of reading stories, but you do enjoy the story themselves, well, Audible is going to be the place for you guys. It's a one-stop shop for all audiobooks. If you go to audibletrial.com/freaknet, you can sign up for a 30-day free trial plus a credit to your first book purchase. Joe says he's on, but I don't see Joe. Where are you at, Joe? Engagements. No fans engaged yet. There's Joey.
There I am.
Hey, Joey.
What's happening?
Not much. How you?
I'm not bad.
Yeah, I was just in the middle of an Audible plug. I think I got the word out. I think I mentioned audibletrial.com/freaknet for the 30-day free trial, plus a credit to the first book they decided to pick out.
Nice. Very nice.
All right. It'd be bold of them to pick the Phantom Tollbooth.
It would be bold.
Since that's our book of choice for the season.
Yeah. You know what would be even more bold of them is if they picked themselves up some nut rub over at ballwash.com.
Nut rub would be bold.
If they use the discount code FreakNet, they could get 15% off their order.
That's a very bold thing to do.
It is.
It's a good thing to be bold. People need to be more bold.
Yeah.
They do. But how's your morning going, Joe?
Not bad. Got started a little late. I was waiting for Lady Science is out to the lab this morning, and I was waiting for her to leave because she was supposed to leave. She was supposed to be there by 9. She told me, but she didn't end up leaving the house until 9. And I'm just like, why? We have different ideas about timeliness.
Yeah. How far from work do you guys live?
Like 20 minutes on a Saturday morning.
Oh, that ain't bad.
No, not at all.
Nice. There you go. Gotta get that OT on a Saturday.
Yep. Well, she's salary, but...
Oh. Well, I gotta get that free labor in on a Saturday.
Yep. Well, she'll probably take a day off next week if she wants.
Oh, well, that's cool that they do that.
Sometimes, yeah. They're pretty chill about it.
Yeah, the companies I work for don't really do that. They're like, hey, listen. Yeah, I love when they tell you, like, they'll make you salary for like 40 hours a week, and you can work your 9 to 5s Monday through Friday, and all of a sudden something comes up on a Saturday, we gotta take care of it, or even on a Sunday, and it's like, I guess so. Do I get compensated differently? Like, well, you do get paid what you get paid for reasons just like this. I was like, I don't remember hearing that in the contract I signed at all.
Right.
Like since when is paid for what could happen an actual thing?
Mm-hmm. Well, gotta pay me better for that.
That's right. Exactly. Amen, Joe. So I'm double mugging it today because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to go with a nice cup of hot coffee or a nice cup of cold iced tea. So I want both.
Nice. I could pour myself a cup of iced tea.
Yeah.
I got some home from the store yesterday.
Yeah. I make my own.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I have a weird ritual on how I do it too. I do it the same way every time. I grab a what the hell is that thing called? What the fuck is it? It's a saucepan maybe?
Yeah.
Is it like a saucepan?
Yeah.
It's got to be. We'll call it a saucepan.
Yeah.
And I think it's a 1-quart saucepan. I'll go ahead and I'll fill that with water, throw it on the stove, let it kind of boil and whatnots. Hey, to you who's here, Klaatu for you. Is that a fucking Star Wars thing?
I don't know.
Klaatu. Oh, wait, is that Evil Dead?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I remember the chant.
It's familiar, yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Army of Darkness, I think. It was like one of the phrases he says in order to pick up the book before he dies. But I think it's the word he screws up on.
Oh, nice. Klaatu Barada Nikto is a phrase from The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Ooh, so maybe he's a fan of that, and I'm wrong.
Maybe. I don't know.
But anyways,
everything references everything, so it's probably all connected.
Yeah. Or maybe he misspelled Pluto. I don't know. But welcome to our bantering. We're just here, just enjoying our morning, just chit-chatting, if you will. Chit-chatting. But anyway, so I take the quart pot sauce, quart pan, bowl, pot, whatever the fuck you want to call it, fill it with water, throw it on the stove, put the lid on it, and just turn it on. Let it get to a roaring boil.
Yeah.
While I'm doing that, I take a 1 gallon container, a juice container, water container, whatever you want to call it, just a 1 gallon thing, and I fill that thing to the top with ice.
Oh.
As soon as the tea gets roaring and boiling and all that, I'll turn it off. I'll grab 4 Lipton tea bags. I'll throw them in there, let them steep for about 5 minutes. Let get all this things done, and then I pour it over the ice in the container. Let it sit till the ice melts. Give it a little shake to mix it up, and I'll put it right back in the fridge. And I gotta tell you, it's delicious.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah, I'm also a weak tea guy, so if you wanted a stronger tea, you go for like 5 or 6 tea bags. But I make so much of it, I don't want to go through tea bags so quick. So
right, yeah, I get that.
So, okay.
Yeah, it's worth it. That's one thing I've learned with coffee is sometimes it's worth having a slightly weaker coffee if it means that it lasts longer.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like when you got me those Death Wish pods.
Oh yeah.
For my Move In Ready 2015 experience here, and it was so good. Like I really need to like focus on ordering more. I just haven't got around to actually doing it. But it bothered me when I was sitting there trying to make a cup, and I'm like, only making like 10 ounces. I was like, I really should make fucking 12.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's like that's the one thing that kind of sucks about those novelty pods. And I just call them novelty pods for the sake of calling them a different pod than your generic ones.
Yeah, they're compostable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally like you could probably get a couple cups out of it, but it just gets weaker and weaker. It's almost like a one and done thing.
Yeah.
And it just sucks because then it's like gone forever. But Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah, fell asleep through it.
Makes sense. Very slow movie.
I got an hour and 45 minutes into it, and I am going to watch the whole thing because I've committed to what I want to do with it. Like I want to watch. I was like, I got to get through it because in my mind, like watching it, because it starts out with like part 1, whatever. So I'm thinking like, okay, well maybe the first 2 hours of it's part 1, and then the next 2 hours is part 2, kind of like Titanic. No, it was like part 3, like 45 minutes into the fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly 2 hours in is when part 4 starts.
God, so I think I just missed part 2 then.
Yeah, I think it's like an 8-part movie. It's really, I don't know, and I'm sure that part of the reason they did it that way was because the editing wasn't fully finished.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a little bit like, it seemed very self-indulgent on the part of Zack Snyder. That's how I want to say it. That's the nice way of putting it.
It was weird. Like I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm getting to the parts where it's in the original Justice League movie, the shaved down 2 hour whatever.
Yeah.
So like they get to them, and obviously they kind of play out the same way they originally did, but then other things are a little bit different. But it just like it was just weird watching it because it felt like I already seen the movie when those parts come back up.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite parts of the movie wasn't even in the movie. If it was, maybe it didn't happen until after I dozed off. But the scene at the beginning of Justice League where Batman's like going after the flying like fear eater thing at the beginning. Like when he was chasing that villain and he tied him like to a wall and he was using him as like as bait or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure I do.
Okay. So at the beginning of the original Justice League.
Oh, I never watched the original one.
What?
Yeah, I never saw it.
You monster. It's good. And I'm not a DC guy, but it's really good.
Oh, see, everyone, I heard it was horrible. Everyone I talked to who saw it, who told me about it, was like, this is bad. Don't watch it.
I really want to ask them why. I need to know. Because maybe it's me. Maybe there's something about the movie that I really, really like, and that's the reason they don't like it. So maybe that projects onto other movies. Because like for me, like if I had to rank like the DC movies that came out, Aquaman would be on top. and then Justice League, and then Batman vs Superman, and then Wonder Woman.
Gotcha. I've only seen, out of all the DC movies, I've only seen the first Wonder Woman, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, and this one.
Okay. I would recommend watching the original Justice League. I would recommend it. It's not bad. I like I said, I liked it. And I think our tastes in superhero movies are very similar because, I mean, like when we did our Marvel rankings and stuff, it's got to be pretty damn close. So, I mean, if you're willing to suffer through a 4-hour long movie, I think a 2-hour and 10-minute movie won't be that bad. But anyways, so I guess I can describe the scene. The beginning of the movie, it shows Batman chasing down some fucking bad guy. And then he catches up with the bad guy, and like he says something about like, you know, like I need something for you or whatever it is. And the guy's like, well, what do you need? And he's like, fear. And then he pushes him off a ledge. So he's like tied by the ankles or whatever, and he's falling. And then all of a sudden, the fucking fear fly or whatever the hell that thing is, like he's swooping down at him.
Oh, the Batman?
Yeah. And then Batman catches him and kind of spider webs him to the wall, which I don't know why bats would have spider webs, but whatever. And spider webs him to the wall and like kind of like watching him and shit and like looking at him. And that's where he kind of like gets the idea for the later scene, which I don't know. Again, I fell asleep, so I don't know when they get to like the big fight scene where Batman's going to sacrifice himself. And he's driving like that Batmobile with the noise going off for them to follow him. Is that still in there?
I think so.
Like it's the scene where like Aquaman were like
yeah, he like rides it and he throws the trident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still in there.
Yeah, so there's like a noise that they put off, that Batman puts off to make the people follow, to make those guys follow him. So if that's not in the movie, then that also sucks because that was also one of my favorite parts of the
that's
movie.
in there. I don't remember him putting off a sound. I can't remember if that happened or not. But the cars making car noises. I remember that, and the parademons are chasing him.
Well, yeah, they're chasing him because they're projecting off a noise that they're attracted to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if it has that specifically. But
if they don't explain that, then that's going to bother me because I thought they're only attracted to fear.
Oh, gotcha. No, I don't think they say that at all. They're attracted in this cut. They're attracted to the mother boxes, which I don't know if those are in the original or not.
No, because in the original, it was just Steppenwolf going after the boxes, not sending them off to sense where they're at. Like that huge fight scene that happened at the Amazonian temple. That didn't fucking happen.
Oh, all right.
And I liked, like I said, I like the other concept better. I mean, I think it's cooler because like this gives like more of a fight scene to a bunch of people. Like, I don't know, did they have a big fight scene in Atlantis too?
No, it wasn't very big, but yeah, they had a fight scene there.
Yeah, see, in the original, it was only Steppenwolf going to pick up these boxes and stuff like that. There was none of those little things around with him.
Gotcha. Yeah. In Atlantis, I think they are trying to play up how powerful Aquaman is. And so it's mostly a fight where Steppenwolf just utterly beats them. And then Aquaman shows up right at the last second and like he rescues all the Atlanteans, but they lose the box.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna commit to watching the whole thing. That's gonna be my Sunday fun day thing to do.
Nice.
So.
Are you gonna start it over, or are you gonna pick up where you left off?
I'm trying to if I can remember exactly where I left off, which I believe I could say with 80% certainty. I stopped right before. Oh no, I was saying. The last thing I remember is them going to rescue the people that were kidnapped to get answers for where the last box is. So the last thing I remember is Cyborg rescuing his dad in the and I'm sorry for spoilers to no one who's ever seen the original Justice League. This was in the movie. And that was like what, 3 years ago? So I think I'm okay.
Yeah, at least in pandemic time, I think that's right.
Yeah, pandemic time is like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last thing I do remember before dozing off was Cyborg rescuing his dad when he was being interrogated in like the sewer system or
Gotcha.
whatever.
Yeah, that's there. That's there.
Yeah. So that's the last part I remember before I kind of dozed off. It was right before Aquaman showed up when the walls started breaking and flooding and shit. So I'll probably start from that point, just because I do remember everything I saw beforehand. Because a lot of that stuff was in the original movie. So I was kind of like, okay, I already seen this part. Okay. And they just kind of elaborated a little bit more on it. So with that, like they elaborated on the Wonder Woman scene where, with the terrorist. They just did a little bit more in that one.
Gotcha.
Obviously they did a little bit more. And they cut out this fucking awesome scene with Flash at the jail.
Oh,
like there was a scene, and I think the reason they did it, because I'm assuming Snyder wanted this to be a lot darker than what was released. Also, by the way, the scene where Flash and Batman, Bruce Wayne leaves Flash's little place and gets in the car, and he's eating the pizza and asking what his superpower is. He says, "I'm rich." So that was in the original movie, but for some reason, the music and stuff they added wasn't part of the original movie, and I hate the fact that there's music there.
Oh, okay.
It kind of weird. It kind of just feels like it was just thrown in there for the sake of having music there.
Oh, okay.
Which by the way, they updated Podbean Live. You want to see something cool?
Oh yeah. Ooh. I remember this music.
Right. They allowed uploading.
Nice.
So now we can have our theme song play with our lives.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm gonna take credit for that.
Yeah, you should. You were calling for it.
God, I'm gonna call it. But there was this one scene in the original where like the Flash was signing in to see his dad. And there was this big dude behind him was like, "Hey, can you pick it up? Can you hurry up?" Blah blah blah. And then Flash kind of turns around, looks at him, and then really quickly doodles on his face.
Oh,
and then turns back around. So he has like glasses and like a mustache and all this other stuff. And when Flash walks away and the guy walks up to sign in, the cop's like, "New prescription," and it was really fucking funny. Like the one scene with him in the pet store.
Yep,
that's new.
Yeah, okay,
that whole thing is new. So also his running is fucking ridiculous.
Yes, isn't it?
I kind of want to see more scenes of him running to see if that's consistent through the movie.
It is consistent through the movie.
Why? Why the fuck is that a thing?
I actually don't know. My best guess is that they're trying to show how he's like dragging the Speed Force to push himself faster or something stupid. But
it reminds me
but they don't explain it,
It reminds me of two things I've seen in life. One, the video of the salamander running on water. I think it's called like the Christ like lizard or the Jesus lizard. Yeah. And the second thing is the episode of Friends where Rachel goes running with Phoebe, and Phoebe runs like a maniac. So those are the things that pop in my head.
That's amazing.
So, but I'm going to give it a chance because I got to give it a chance. I think I have to do it for the fans of this podcast because this is what we podcast about. A lot of superhero movies and stuff like that. So I have to do it. Just like I have to sit through Wonder Woman 1984.
I can't. I've tried to watch that movie like 3 times and I have to shut it off after 5 minutes.
Really?
I just can't watch it. It's just bad. I don't like anything about it.
What did you try to put into the chat? It won't let me see it.
I tried to send a picture of the Jesus lizard.
Oh yeah, well let me see it.
Wouldn't let me. Yeah, it just shows like a little green bubble for me too.
Mine shows what looks to be looks like an Egyptian hieroglyphic. I want to say it's an eye between an equal sign. I don't even know.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, since we know you're listening now, Podbean, let me send pictures in the chat, you fucks.
Right. Time to update some stuff. Oh my god, they have more sound effects. Holy shit, they have gone. What else we got here? Oh.
Nice.
You know what sound that is?
Phone ringing.
Nope, that's the sound of being correct.
Oh.
So they don't have a wrong sound, so I can't use that for it. I guess I could do this one, which I still don't know why.
I like that sound.
Why is it still going? God, that's
I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Wipe out. Oh my god, this is... What the hell is this? Nice.
Those are all good. I really like them.
Yeah, and then... Ooh, I love this one. That's awesome. That's what we needed for our freaky tour.
Yes, it's really good.
Mm-hmm. But I guess nothing's better than... Or... It doesn't sound like a boo. All right, Joe. So, what have you been up to since we recorded our last show? Anything in particular you want to share or update on before we move forward with our bantering?
Nothing comes to mind.
Nope.
I feel like it's just been. When was it? Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
No, I think Justice League is the only interesting thing I did, and I watched it all Wednesday.
Gotcha. So, what did you do? You did 2 hours before work, 2 hours after work?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Exactly what I did.
And then you record GCL on Wednesday too. God,
Yep.
that was a full day, man.
It was a long day. Yep. But luckily for me, the cats woke me up at 4, so I had nothing better to do.
Right. It's like the cats knew, like, hey, you with the face.
Yeah.
Eric Kirk entered the live stream. Eric, thank you for being here. We're bantering, we're just bullshitting, chatting, and everything. If you have something you want us to talk about, why don't you throw ahead there in the chat, and we could talk about it amongst ourselves. Klaatu, same thing with you. Again, I'm pretty sure that's fucking Evil Dead. It's gonna bug me.
Probably is.
Klaatu for you. It's got to be, or Army of Darkness, whatever the hell it is.
What about you? Anything good in the last couple of days?
Over the last couple of days, not really. I got to meet the new, I guess my new supervisor for work.
Oh.
Nice guy. Which sucks. I really want to not like him.
Yeah. Sorry, I just remembered something that did happen to me, but I'll wait until you're done.
Okay. So I had an opportunity to meet him because they have to obviously train him and everything. He's going to be like a fill-in. So if I do want to take a vacation or I actually happen to get sick, I'll be able to actually be off work instead of just, suffering through because there's no coverage.
Nice. Seems dangerous for your coworkers, but go on.
Well, it absolutely sucks. It's like about 3 weeks ago, or probably maybe about a month ago by now. My back was killing me, and my job is like 50% labor.
Jesus.
And so, I messaged him saying I can't make it into work and all this stuff, and I had an actual employee from the company I'm contracted to cover for me.
Yeah.
We'll come to find out they can't do that. Because we're contracted to cover our shifts. They can't cover our shifts for us. So if I don't go into work or our shift isn't covered, it breaches our contract and we no longer have work there. So in turn, I won't have a job anymore.
That sounds illegal.
It
doesn't sound.
Well, that's the biggest.
I'd be finding a labor lawyer to talk to.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem with all of it is I'm only employed as long as we have that contract.
Yeah.
And in the contract it states if we cannot cover our own shifts, then the contract's voided. So that's where those kind of loopholes come in.
Yeah.
If we can't cover the shift and we're not holding up our end of the contract, which voids out the contract, and we void out the contract and that position is no longer there, and if that position is dissolved, there's no longer me being employed.
Oh, Jesus.
So I get laid off.
So the company that you work for has to cover the contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So There used to be two people who covered my shifts. My shift and the other guy's shift because we run two different shifts there. So they were there to back us up in case we can't work.
Right.
Well, the one person quit, found a new job, moved on.
Yeah.
And the other person's still there. The other person's going on maternity leave probably next week.
Gotcha.
But this particular Friday that I couldn't work, they couldn't really cover because they had things they had to do to prepare for the baby. And I'm totally fine with it. Like this guy, I want to try leaving names out, obviously, especially the company I work for, because I don't know who listens to this. I don't want to be like, oh, but whatever. It doesn't matter. They're gonna fire me one way or another. He's probably the closest friend I have there. Even when I worked there before, great guy. And when he sat there and like we kind of talked about this whole situation, he's like, "Listen, it was a night shift too." So he's like, "I can cover part of it, but there's stuff I have to get done at home, blah blah." And I was like, "Fine, whatever. I'll just come into work." And I even asked him, I'm like, "What happens if this occurs while you're on paternity leave?" Right. He's like, "Well, I don't really know." Mick, I don't know what the fuck is that. MC Rabbi Tim.
Oh, nice.
Is that really Rab?
Ooh.
Is it Mick Rabbi?
The McRabbi.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's like the
I don't know. Yeah, I see that
but
now.
it's a rabbi.
That's fun.
I got that. I like that. And he threw an I. I'm hoping that says. I was hoping that's supposed to be high, but unless it's just the beginning of a sentence, he just wanted to like acknowledge it firsthand. So
right. I don't know.
Anyway, so I asked him, like, what happens when you go on paternity leave and I get sick or, blah, blah. And I think we talked about this on our show. There's just nothing they can do about it.
Right.
It is what it is. But they're training this guy right now, but the company that we're contracted to won't sign off on him unless he's trained for up to 6 weeks. Well, if you just started training this past Friday and the only other coverage we have is going on maternity leave potentially next Monday. I'm no math whiz, but that's not 6 weeks.
Right.
So for the duration of the paternity leave, mind you, nothing could happen. I need to make sure no matter what, I am at work at all cost.
Right.
But then I just find out that the person that works the opposite shift to me is going on vacation for 2 weeks, like literally at the end of this paternity leave.
Oh, Jesus.
So between the paternity leave and then the 2 weeks of this other dude's vacation, nothing could happen to me because it still hasn't been 6 weeks of training. And there is no coverage for me because the guy who does cover for me has to cover the opposite shift. So I need to pray between now and mid-April that I don't get hurt, I don't get sick, there's no family emergency.
No kidding.
And my car doesn't break down, I don't get in an accident or nothing. Because if that was to happen and we don't have coverage, I will not have a job anymore.
You got to join a union, man.
I would love
to
join
your
a
job
union.
back if they fire you for bullshit like that.
I would love to join a union. I tried to apply at other jobs and stuff when I was on a pandemic and I was laid off and stuff. There just wasn't any people hiring because of COVID.
Yeah.
And stuff. And this just happened to be hireable. And don't get me wrong, I'm appreciative that I got a job at all. There's a lot of people out there who really don't. But I'm thrown into a pretty fucked up situation.
Yeah, absolutely. That sucks.
Yeah. But what did you remember that you wanted to share?
I got my first dose of the Pfizer vaccine on Thursday.
Really?
I did.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I just saw on my local community page that they finally opened up a location like 6 miles from us.
Nice.
So it was weird. I had a friend of mine ask me last night, like, if the opportunity arises for me, am I going to take the vaccine? And I think I gave her probably the answer that she was looking for, but not in the way that she was expecting.
Okay.
And I'll say it to you because I know you'll be honest with me and you'll give me your thoughts and feelings about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I can honestly tell you, I don't know why I feel this way. I don't think it's necessary for me to get the vaccine. I don't think it's necessary for me to take it. I honestly don't want to take it. It's not because I don't believe in COVID, because I do.
Right.
It's not because I believe that this isn't real, because I do.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that. And it's not because I believe that the vaccine is going to help, because I do believe it will.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like it's a lack of giving a shit about getting the vaccine for something that if I could or could not get. Because in my mind, and this is how my mind works, which is dumb, if I haven't gotten it by now, I'm never going to get it. Dumb way to think. It's a completely, and I'll be honest with you, dumb way to fucking think. Because it could still happen. But I just think it's like, what's the point? Like, fuck it. You know, like I've never had tetanus in my life.
Right.
But I got the tetanus shot.
Yeah.
I never got polio.
Right.
You know, so it's like, why get a vaccination for COVID where I'll probably never fucking get it? Yeah. But it's like I told her, like, I'm going to get it so the people in my life that want me to get it has peace of mind.
Yeah.
My dad wants me to get it. A couple of my friends want me to get it. I'm sure my mom does, but we never talk about it. The only reason I ever got a flu shot was to give my sister peace of mind around my niece.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I was like, fine, I'll just get it, whatever. So I'm going to get the vaccine. I'm going to get it done. But I'm not doing it for me. I'm just doing it for peace of mind for other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Honestly, thank you if you're not going to do it for yourself, thank you for doing it for other people. I appreciate it. I don't care what reason you get the vaccine. I appreciate that you're getting it.
Yeah, it's like I said, like it's not because I'm not worried about it. It's just for some reason, and maybe it's a scary way to live. It's just I have a very lackadaisical, whatever happens kind of like mindset, and I guess it's just rolling over into the pandemic stuff.
Yeah, probably, and I think the pandemic makes that kind of mindset much. I don't want to say worse, but like
enhances.
Yeah.
I think the world is just getting so fed up with it, like they're just kind of starting to lose interest in like own self-care and self-preservation.
Yeah,
it's just and I don't want to speak for other people, but I'm going to assume that there are people out there that are like, you know what? It's been a year since life was normal. Whatever fucking happens now.
Yeah, well, that's what I remember one time talking to my mom, probably in June, and she was like, "Well, we're all gonna get it," and I'm like. Well, but there's ways to not get it, you know. But it's a privilege to be able to work a job where you know your employer takes it seriously, your coworkers take it seriously, the local government is taking it seriously. You know, it's very difficult, you know, depending on where you live and what your job is and who you work with and everything else, to be able to take all the precautions that like I've been able to take.
Yeah,
for sure. You know, so you know, even if I have problems with the mindset, it's not a problem with you. It's a problem with the world that created the mindset in you.
Yeah, it's a goofy situation that we have been in for so long. Captain Foley, thank you for entering the live chat. We're bantering. If you have any topics you want us to discuss, please do. We're talking about vaccines at the moment.
So and I hope they get you the. There's like marginal differences between them.
Yeah,
but I kind of hope you get the Johnson & Johnson.
I heard Johnson & Johnson is like the way to go, and the only thing, and I have not done any research on any vaccines yet. This is like all new on discussions that we've had with other people, just because like I've been waiting for it to be open to everybody before I even took a concern into it. Regardless of the fact if obese people are on like the priority list, I still don't get it. Hey, I'm fat. We all know it. Well, you guys don't know it, but I am fat. And I feel I'm fat for my own reasons, not anything medical. I honestly don't believe that overeating is a mental thing. I just think that if you want to stop eating, hey, put down the sandwich. Yeah. I could do it too. I blame myself for being fat. It's no one else's fault. So with that being said, no, I don't believe obese people should be on the priority list. It should be the elderly. It should be the people who are most affected by it, that have like respiratory infection issues, which technically I do. I have asthmatic bronchitis. And also the what the hell are those people called?
Healthcare workers?
Yeah, but the other word.
Essential workers?
The essential workers, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do believe those people should be at the pinnacle of the vaccination list.
I do think more essential workers should be on the list. Like, I think grocery store workers should have access.
Anyone who has common interaction with a large sum of people absolutely should.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that should be healthcare workers. Obviously, it should be medical workers like police, fire, ambulance, the stores, gas stations, pharmacies. Anyone who has like interaction with hundreds of people on a daily basis. Absolutely 100% should have the vaccination offered to them like immediately.
Yeah.
But somebody was telling me that Johnson & Johnson is probably the best option just because there's more. It's been around a little bit longer than the rest of them. It's been more kind of like involved. But somebody told me like this Johnson & Johnson vaccination has been around for years actually.
Oh,
which
really?
doesn't make sense to me. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I do know it's a much more traditional vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Because it actually it's like with your normal flu vaccine. It has a part of the virus that is too weak to actually do anything other than alert your immune system.
Yeah.
So it's a much more typical type of vaccine, and it prevents 100% of hospitalizations, and it decreases the severity of the symptoms to where it's like having a bad flu.
Gotcha. Now these places that are doing the vaccines at, like these vaccination spots, whatever the hell they're called, do they have the different vaccines available for you to choose from, or do they just say, hey, this is where we're doing vaccinations, it's all Pfizer vaccines and that's it?
I'm not 100% sure. So I got mine at the hospital I work at, and they had Pfizer and Moderna available.
Yeah.
And they didn't give me a choice. They were just like, you're getting the Pfizer. And I was like, cool. That's the one I want because I don't want to wait 4 weeks for my second one.
Yeah. Is it also based on the health insurance? Is that how they determine?
So that's a really hard question because like from everything I've been reading from the government is that the government's paying for it. Your health insurance isn't paying for it. Like the government's paying for it. So I don't know. Because the weird thing is when I went in, I had to bring my insurance cards. And then the lady told me that the hospital was paying for it. And so the messaging is very confusing. So I haven't had a chance to investigate it yet. I don't know.
Yeah, because I thought I read somewhere about bringing in like the insurance card and all this other stuff, and like it kind of confused me too. Because I was like, I thought this was set up by the government where it was completely covered at the cost of the government. I thought that was the whole point of these relief bills and all this other shit,
right?
Is to fund the vaccination for the entire country,
right?
So I'm just saying, like, why do you guys care what insurance I have? It's not like it gives you, allergies and shit on my insurance card.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, whatever, so I'll bring it with me. That's fine.
But and even if like I could understand to some extent, like maybe they need to just let your insurance company know so that their insurance companies can track who has it and who doesn't.
Ooh, maybe.
But there's a part of me that's like, I don't want my insurance company to know that because I don't think they should be able to discriminate against somebody who has like the Johnson & Johnson versus the Pfizer versus they can't get any because they're like immunocompromised in some way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully I get to make a decision, which is also weird that they say like you're getting this one, not saying like which one you want. Like when you go to the dentist, like do you want bubblegum or cherry flavored fluoride?
Right.
I mean, like, yeah, if the shit's free and there's other options, like they should give you the options. Like, hey, do you want Pfizer? Do you want Moderna? Do you want Johnson & Johnson? They should carry all of them and allow you to make the choice. Let me ask you a hypothetical question, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's say 5 years from now, a news report comes out and they determine and state that the COVID vaccine was nothing more than an ordinary flu shot. How mad would you be?
I honestly don't even know anymore because like it feels, that John Mulaney bit where he's like, this might as well happen. Being an adult is so goddamn weird already.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would feel about it, I think. I'd just be like, you know what? Fine. This feels par for the course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I only ask because there's so many weird like conspiracies going on like lately.
So many.
Like, and I know a lot of it actually has to do like because I go on TikTok and I just thumb through shit and between the WAP twerking girls and the weird Biden falling upstairs. God. damn that man. There was this one that had, it was like a quick montage of like all these videos questioning these actual conferences and like meetings and speeches that he's doing. Like one like there was like a live action of him doing a speech in like the Rose Garden at the White House. And somebody's there with a camera pointed right at the Rose Garden of the White House, and there's no one there.
Oh, weird.
And then there was one that was showing like he was walking somewhere, and he was walking up to people, like up to reporters asking questions and stuff, and his hands kind of passed, or his arm passed through the reporter's like recorder, like it was a green screen.
Huh.
So it's like all these goofy things where people are saying like Biden isn't really at the White House. Like at night, like the entire White House is like dark, which it makes sense. I think the dude goes to bed at like 6 p.m.
Yeah,
like,
I would if I were 90.
Right. But it's just goofy. Now I'm not saying I believe any of this stuff. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just goofy that, you know, it's things like that that make people like fucking wonder. Like it makes me curious, but doesn't make me like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And like one person has said like, it's like, I'm pretty sure, that's a bold statement to say pretty sure,
Right.
but
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure this is nothing but a way to get people to finally take the flu shot they've been afraid to take for years. And I kept thinking to myself, like, what if this was just a fucking flu shot? Like, what if like they did all this like elaborate testing on COVID-19 just for one pharmacy or one lab to say, hey, I think this is just a fucking flu.
Yeah.
And then fucking Fauci's like, well, we're fucking in the end game now, and just fucking roll with it. Like, we won't tell them that. We'll just come out with fucking vaccinations. Just fucking relabel it, give it to them. We'll call it good in fucking 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, though, like, the flu mutates so frequently that, like, getting people to take one flu shot isn't enough.
Yeah.
Because there's, like sometimes you can get, like... Well, and the other thing is, like, there are so many different strains of flu, they kind of have to guess as to which one's going to be the flu every year. And sometimes you can get the flu shot, but then get the flu that the shot wasn't made to protect from. Like, that happens sometimes, where it'll be like, well, you got the shot for flu A, but flu B was the one that you got. So, sorry, you know, really bad luck. You won the shit lottery. But the other thing is, like, the flu doesn't typically kill this many people.
No.
You know, we're like almost, what is it? 14 or 15 times the regular flu rate. And then the other thing is, like, actual diagnoses of the flu this year are like plummeted. It was like 90,000 cases of flu last year. This year there was only 1,300.
Yeah,
just
and
because
I like
of the face masks and stuff preventing it from spreading.
Yeah, and I like how people use that as an excuse to say that they're just, you know, blowing up the number by saying people with the flu had COVID. It's like, right. It's not. It's really not. And I could even kind of like, you know, not what's the opposite of backing an idea?
Reject.
Yeah, I could reject the idea of that reasoning just because you're less likely to get the flu if you're quarantined, not around people, and wearing masks. So yeah, I can see why the flu numbers are down because there's precautions that people are literally taking right now. I get that COVID is a real thing. Oh, for sure. I get that it is as bad as everyone says it is.
But it's so hard to trust. It's so hard to trust the government, and they've done nothing to help us actually trust them.
It's all the goofy little fucking things that like it's an ironic thing, and obviously
it's shit like the CDC. Like, first of all, 6 feet is great. Like, it's not perfect, but it was kind of it's pretty good, but it's more of a number that they kind of just made up 100 years ago, based off of some research that some scientists did way back then. But the CDC turning around and saying, well, we need schools to open. What can we do to make this happen? I know, as long as the kids are masked, they can be 3 feet apart. Like, obviously, this is just politicized bullshit, and you're being assholes.
Yeah.
Because you want the schools to open so you can get the parents back to work instead of doing what every other fucking country on the planet did and just motherfucking paying people to stay home and paying people's mortgages and paying people's rent and making sure that everybody has enough food to eat, clothes to wear, houses to live in so that we don't have to go to work for a little while, and you pay the businesses so that the businesses can survive and reopen when this is over.
Yeah.
And then we get back to business 6 weeks out. We wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now. We wouldn't have been under quarantine for basically a year, and like a half-hearted quarantine, if we had done the right thing way back in February when President Trump was talking to Bob Woodward and saying this is worse than the flu. If we had just locked down then, gotten the motherfucker under control, we wouldn't even need the vaccine. It'd be a luxury to have.
Yeah. Yeah, it
makes me so angry.
No, and I agree with you 100%.
And I looking at what Biden's doing, I don't think it would be any different. I think that Biden would have done things basically exactly the same way as Trump. So like, this isn't, I'm not blaming President Trump any more than I would blame, he was the guy in charge, so I'm blaming him.
Yeah.
If it was Hillary, I'd blame her.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that came about, during the election period and during all of 2020 is no matter who it was, no matter if it was the Republican side, Democrat side, conservative side, liberal side, Trump side, Biden side, whatever.
Yeah.
They spent more time making this whole pandemic political than they did about the concern. And I know everyone said it, it's the concern of the American person. Like, well, when? Like, when did you actually show that? It's more about what Trump's doing wrong, what the Democrats are doing wrong. It's like when I tell people about Facebook. It's like people spend more time tearing down the other side than they do about building up their own, and it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, well, it's easier if you don't have anything to defend.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I tell my friends and everything. I had a buddy of mine who was talking about something that their wife posted or some shit like that, and I was like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, oh, you didn't see it on your news feed? I'm like, no. Who posted it? Oh, my wife posted it. I'm like, yeah, I don't follow your wife on Facebook. We're still friends, but I don't follow her on Facebook. And he asked why. It's like, because of her political shit. He's like, oh, you don't want to follow political shit? I'm like, no, that's incorrect. And I can tell everyone right now, if you post something to support Trump or you post something to support Biden, I'll keep you on my page because you're supporting your beliefs. But if you tear down Biden, if you tear down Trump just because it's easier for you, it annoys the fuck out of me and I'm done. Like, it's just so much negative and it's ridiculous. How can you put so much energy into being negative when you can take the exact amount of energy and put it into positive shit?
Right.
It's like, I don't care what you feel about Trump's hair. I don't care how you feel about, Biden stuttering and stuff like that. Talk about the positive of your guy instead of tearing down the shit from the other. And hey, you won't be as annoying to me because I don't want to deal with that bullshit because it's negative effect on me. And I don't want to down myself just because you have a political agenda where you have to tear down the other side. It's like a buddy of mine, fucking Jeff, huge Republican, huge Trump supporter and everything. He posted something negative about Biden. Somebody goes into his fucking page and belittles him, bitches about Trump and all this other stuff. I'm just like, God, okay, well, yeah, now I'm done. And I fucking unfollow.
Well, what kills me too is the people who are like Biden can do no wrong. And you're like, do you not understand that you're no different than the Trump supporters who are like, Trump can do no wrong?
Yeah.
And they're doing the exact same. The kids are still in cages. There are actually, I think, more evictions happening right now than happened at all under Trump. Where there are more deportations. Biden is on track. He promised, as a campaign promise, I'm going to have a moratorium on deportations for the first 100 days. And he is on track to deport more people than Trump and Obama combined.
Yeah. Did you see his response to that question at his press conference about the children coming?
I didn't watch it.
So there's one reporter said that she went down to one of the detainment centers.
Yeah.
And there was a little kid there, which there's more kids showing up than there are families showing up.
Yeah.
And this little kid walked, I guess, to the border from Honduras. I'm not a geologist.
That's a long truck. That's a walk.
I can assume it's long. It's South America, so I know you're fucking traveling through Mexico.
Yeah.
So they called that kid's mom because the mom sent him alone.
Yeah.
Or with a group of people or whatever, a caravan or whatever they are. So they called the mom and asked him why she sent her kid alone to make this journey. And I guess the mom stated that she sent the kid alone because President Biden is less likely to deport and send back kids than he is families.
Yep.
And to which he responded that, well, it's unfortunate for the kid to have to do that, but if they have family out there, then yeah, we put him on a plane to send him back home.
Jesus.
So now it comes down to the fact that, like, if it's an orphan, they stay. If their parents are somewhere around the country, they go back.
Yeah.
And it was weird because, like, I mean, like, and everyone was giving him like these softball questions, and it was bound to fucking happen just because it does seem like it happens a lot.
They want to manufacture the consent of the populace.
Yeah, but this one woman who actually kind of like gave him like some tough questions, like you could see him, like, and it was weird because I've never seen this before, but I've never seen a lot of press conferences. Usually, like, somebody raises their hand, you point at them, and then they ask a question.
Yeah.
He was reading off a list of names.
Oh my god.
And saying Kevin or Sasha, stuff like that. And as the person was asking questions, he was flipping through his papers. And when he gets to something that sounds like his question, he stopped and kind of read from a sheet. So it almost seems like, and again, this is just me thinking, I'm not saying it really happened. It just sounded like they already got the questions ahead of time. So he knew what answers to give him.
They probably did.
Yeah. So when this woman came up and everything and started asking, he kind of looked a little bit flustered and he did his,
Yeah.
And then kind of went into a whole big speech. He's like, yes, we're going to send kids back to their families if they have families out there.
Right. You know what it's going to do? It's going to make families pretend like they're it's either going to cause families to kill themselves.
Yep.
So that, like, the kid is safe. Like, oh, I'm going to die, but at least I know my son's safe.
Yes. Yep.
Or they're just going to not pick up the call. They're just going to be like, no, we're dead. We don't exist anymore.
Yeah. The one question I kind of wish was asked, because I know they asked the press secretary, and I want to look at the video because I want to see what her response was, but it was just, I only saw the part of the question, is where they're talking about they're taking $86 million to put 1,200 immigrant families in hotels because they're being overpopulated. Right. I think somebody said like the detainment center is like 1,500% over capacity.
Yeah.
So they're taking like $86 million to put 1,200 families up in hotels and stuff because of the overcrowding. But they asked, like, it's like, if you're putting $86 million towards putting immigrants into hotels, how come the soldiers and stuff that you came to protect the Congress building during these trials or during the process, whatever they went through, were sleeping in
like the parking garage?
Yeah, the parking garages and stuff like that. I didn't look up the video yet to see her response on that, but shit like that's kind of curious. Like, don't get me wrong, I want people to come to our country. I want them to do it the legal way, obviously. Yeah. I want them to do it the right way, but I want people to come to the country. Like, you get more people in here, I think it's better for the country as a whole, not only as the whole melting pot idea that this country was based on, but it gets more people buying shit. It gets more people paying for shit.
You got more people paying taxes because you got more people doing jobs. They're doing the jobs that other people don't want to do.
Absolutely, 100%. But yeah, it's just the goofy shit of like, we're gonna give money to people who are coming to our country instead of putting money into the people who are here.
Right, and the thing is, we can do both. There's really no reason not to do both, other than like somebody thinks Jeff Bezos needs another yacht.
Goddamn, Amazon got so rich off of fucking COVID.
Yeah, did you hear what they've been trying to do lately? There's this union that's trying to form in Alabama, and I think it's going to happen, which is great for Amazon workers.
Yeah,
but like the company, like Twitter page, is trying to say that employees don't pee in bottles because they don't have time. So like if you're an Amazon worker, you have to reach a certain quota or else you don't get paid and you get fired.
Yep.
And the way they fire you, by the way, according to people who've actually been fired this way, is they don't even tell you. You show up for work and your key card doesn't work, so you just got to go home. But anyway, you're so
That sounds
busy you
right.
can't even go to the bathroom because the bathroom is so far from the floor that you work on that your break isn't long enough to get there and come back.
My God.
And so people are just peeing in bottles on the floor and like just trying to reach their quotas. And the Amazon Twitter is like, if this was really the case, why would anyone work for us? And it's like, gee, I don't know, because you moved in and closed all the other stores in town.
Yep.
Like, there's nowhere else to work. The Walmart can't compete against you. Like,
yep, you got to go where the work's at, and it's fucked up. And I've had friends who worked at Amazon, and they do that same shit that McDonald's does. Yeah. You never get fired. You self-terminate.
Right.
You do something that causes you to no longer work there.
Yes.
And it's a goofy fucking process, but it's a completely legal thing.
Yep.
You know, you don't show up for work because you're sick. Well, you chose not to come to work. It doesn't matter why.
Right.
You know, obviously COVID can kind of change that a little bit. Like, oh, well, definitely if you have COVID, don't come into work. But when somebody says like, oh, you know, well, this guy calls off, you know, once every other week, you know, or either he really does get sick that often or he's just not showing up for work. You know what? We gotta let you go. You chose not to come into work, so you know, or you know, like you fucked something up, or you got in an argument with a customer. Bob, like, well, you know, you chose to argue with that customer, so in turn, you chose to no longer work here.
Right. Oh God.
But no, Amazon fucking sucks.
They're the worst.
They make an impossible daily, you know, goal that you have to reach. A friend of mine does work at one of them over here by me, and he says it isn't that bad, but he works like the overnight shit.
Right.
I can imagine, like, you know, daytime on same day deliveries and stuff could be a little bit more hectic.
Right. Well, I also feel like people's tolerance for things varies from person to person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm willing to put up with a lot more shit at a job sometimes than someone else might be, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so like if it's not that bad, it's because it's worth it to you. Whatever you're making, you're happy with. Mm-hmm. But if you're not, if it's not paying your bills, I could see where you'd be like, this sucks.
100%. Absolutely. And then, like, I guess Amazon also has this thing where like your work area, they taped it off, and you can't leave that box.
Oh my God.
Like, it's a goofy fucking thing. Like, you know, you cannot leave that area because that's your little quarantine area. That's your home. He says that when he shows up to work and everything, he punches in, gets his shit, goes in, stands in his box, and that's where he's at.
Oh my God.
And if he wants to take a bathroom break or something like that, he has to let somebody know. He has to make sure the coast is clear for him to go, and he's on his fucking way.
That's
and shit.
Wild.
But
That's wild
but I get why. I mean, I get why people are pissed because there are companies that are like that.
Right.
A friend of mine was trying to get me a job at a place that he works, and I try to look up information on companies before I do.
Yeah.
And one of the reviews on it, which there was a bunch of them, and I always look at the most recent, and I look at the location.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Indeed.com, the best place for you guys to look for reviews if you want to look at businesses you're trying to get jobs for. But there was one that said that this woman quit because numerous times when she was sitting at her desk, she wanted to get up and go to the bathroom, but they're like a call center customer service kind of job. And every time she wanted to get up to go to the bathroom, she got scolded and scoffed at because what if a phone call comes in while you're gone?
Oh my God, then someone else can pick it up.
Yeah, goofiest fucking thing in the world. I'm just like, it's bullshit.
There is no job that shouldn't exist more than manager.
Yeah.
Oh, assistant manager.
Yeah, there you go. It's so,
oh my God.
It's a fucked up world, but no one.
You know what adults don't need is to be told when they're allowed to pee.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm an adult. If I have to pee, I'm gonna go pee, and if that means I'm fired, I guess I'm fired.
Right? I mean, what do they want? Did they either want me to get up and go to the bathroom, or did they want me to pee at my fucking desk?
Right, I'll pee at my desk if that's what you want me to do.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. How quick are you gonna fire me if you fucking see, a fucking Aquafina bottle with a yellow tint to it?
Right.
It's like, come on now.
Good God. I just don't understand people. Right.
Come on, man.
To me. There is I'm not sure that there is an amount of money you could pay me to not be able to pee when I want to pee. You know what I mean?
Joke. It's a
like
joke.
I don't know.
No,
God.
It's
I mean,
joke.
and how and this isn't. I'm not. That's not to talk down about people who can be paid enough to do that. Because that means that their situation is desperate enough that they don't have a choice. But like, what kind of world are we living in? That's a thing. Why are we putting up with it? I mean, did you hear about France this week?
No, nothing about France.
So the French government is trying to set prices for farmers that
Okay.
are too low for the farmers don't feel like they're being paid fairly for the produce that they're producing. And so all the farmers in France got their tractors, filled the scoop on them with horse manure, drove to Paris, and dumped it on the government buildings.
No shit.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. Like, come on, where's that energy?
That is. I love that. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Hey, I've been meaning to ask you something for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you've probably heard about it now. But being a whiskey drinker, have you heard about the tariff that was lifted?
No, I haven't. I haven't had whiskey in a long time.
So let me see here. Blah, blah, blah. Single malt Scotch whiskey exporters in the UK breathe a sigh of relief on the announcement that a 25% tariff imposed on them by the US in October 2019 will be lifted temporarily. The tariff is now part of a road between two countries. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so certain whiskeys and stuff that are being imported into America are 25% cheaper.
Wow. That's amazing. I got to go buy myself some like Johnny Walker Blue.
Yeah.
Well, it's on sale.
Yeah. So anything that I think it's from like UK, from Scotland, obviously it doesn't affect American whiskey. So Jack Daniels and Jim Beam aren't really on that list.
Right.
But
those are pretty cheap anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like all of them, like the fucking blue label, black label, like all that shit. Like it's 25% cheaper.
Nice.
So. Yeah, but I've been wanting to ask you that because it happened the 4th of March. And I kept saying, like, I'm going to ask, it's going to be mentioned in the show, and then I keep fucking forget about it.
Gotcha. I'm also bad about, like, I don't really drink a lot of scotch just because, like, I'm an American whiskey or an Irish whiskey guy.
Good man. Good man. What's the, what's Red Stag? Where's that from?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's a Jim Beam product.
Is it? Because I think that's one of the few whiskeys I actually do enjoy, and it's only because Paul had a big fucking mug of it, just filled with ice and like poured over it. So I guess it was watered down for a bit. For some reason, like it was delicious, and I'm assuming maybe because it's a little bit watered down, but I mean I kind of liked it.
Yeah, Jim Beam, Red Stag by Jim Beam.
Okay.
Black cherry liqueur meets Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. God, it is so good. I need to get whiskey drunk today, I think.
You should get whiskey drunk.
The problem is I think I only have early times, which is not good.
What the fuck is early times?
It's the whiskey that Grandpa Snedden used to drink.
Oh, dude. Thanks for saying that name. I had a teary moment the other day.
Oh, yeah?
I was watching TikTok. God, I love TikTok. There was a video of this elderly man. I gotta say, somewhere in his 70s, bum leg, delivering for Amazon. And I don't know why it reminded me of Grandpa Snedden, but as he was delivering the packages and doing his shit, an American flag blew off the flagpole and onto the ground where he was delivering the packages to. So this dude, the best he can, gets down on the ground, picks up the flag, starts folding it into the triangle and setting it on the packages, salutes it, and does like the turn and walk away. Nice. I don't know why that reminded me of Grandpa Snedden so much, but it did.
Oh, he would absolutely do something like that.
Yeah, and I think like that's like the closest, because I mean, like I never seen anything military related to Grandpa Snedden. Like I never had the pleasure of hearing any of his stories and stuff. Which again, I guess a lot of people from back in the day, they don't like telling war stories. Yeah. But I've heard a lot of stories from Grandpa Snedden, but nothing war related. I think the closest I came to a war story was one time where my mom wanted to say bye to him, and he was like sleeping, but his eyes were open, so she didn't know he was sleeping. Oh yeah. Then he kind of reached out and grabbed her out of panic and stuff. And he just said back in the war, they were trained to sleep with their eyes open for that very reason. But it's just that and the Freemason stuff, I think, are the closest to military stuff related to him.
VFW stuff where he would build the the boxes for flag disposal.
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah. No, all of the flag boxes in and around Oak Forest he built them, he made them.
Yeah,
and then he would. It was his job. I don't know if it was self-appointed or from the post, but he would drive around and collect all the flags that needed to be disposed of, and then it was his guys who would. They would, I think, once a month or once every couple of months, they would have like a flag burning ceremony where they would properly dispose of the flags. And he had that. You remember that little trumpet he had that played taps for you?
Okay. Yeah.
That's what he bought. I don't know if he bought the trumpet, but that's what the trumpet was for. Was that they didn't always have someone who could play taps, and so he would just bring that mechanical trumpet with, and it would play taps while they burned the flags to dispose of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw that, and it teared me up a bit. I was like, damn. Like shit.
Yeah, it's giving me some warm fuzzies.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I miss him.
I do. Him and my beard have been on my mind all week.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta call Grandma Snedden. It's been a long time.
I get texts from her randomly, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like Happy Easter, Happy Birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy
She's
Arbor
really good
Day.
about that when she remembers.
Yeah, exactly. Joe, is there anything else we may have missed?
No, I feel like we covered everything.
Cool. Anything you are freaking thinking about?
What am I freaking thinking about? I'm just looking forward to a really relaxing day today. It's kind of the first day I've got nothing going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well you do work Sunday through Saturday or Sunday through Friday, so
yeah, and I'm usually too exhausted by Saturday, but I think I'm finally used to the schedule that I'm on.
Yeah,
that I have energy today, so I don't know. I'll probably just play video games because I'm that guy. But
there you go. Colin wanted me to check out some video game that he wants to play together and shit. Which I'm assuming, knowing Colin, it's probably not something I'm gonna like. But I'm not big like online co-op guy.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's called It Takes Two.
Oh,
and I've never heard of it. Yeah, so I gotta look into that and see what he wants to do.
Nice. So, what about you? What are you freaking thinking about?
You know what? I got SCW wrestling show I gotta go to today. I got that this evening. Nice. So between now and then, I'm gonna try to complete this Justice League movie. And hopefully, for the next 3 hours I have left of it, or 2 hours I have left of it, 2.5.
Yeah.
I hope it draws me more into it.
If your experience is anything like mine, it'll draw you in for about the next hour and a half, and then you'll slowly start thinking, "Oh my God, this movie's still on."
Teo, thanks for coming into our wrap up here, man. Yeah, and a lot of people said like the CGI for Beowulf was better. I disagree. I don't like the shiny armor bullshit that they did for him, and I'm not a big fan of how different Cyborg looks.
Cyborg?
Yeah,
I don't even know what he looked like in the first one. But
he looked God, if I had to put it into kind of like, he seemed like thicker and like bulkier in a good way in the original. This one, it almost looks like Ultron like, compared to like the other movie where it was more like heavy duty looking. Like maybe it's my mind fucking with me, but he just seemed more awkwardly walking, like thinner, like a thinner robot in the cut.
Yeah, gotcha.
And his face looked more animated than in the original.
Gotcha.
Like in the original, it would look like a guy in a robot suit, where this one looks like it was a complete like animation that was put in place. So I wasn't a big fan of either one of those. So the CGI, just like I said, like I liked them more, and maybe it's just my archaic like vision of like what like a guy from 1,000 years ago would actually look like. I mean, this guy looks like he's from the fucking future in this like sparkly armor bullshit. Also, this with Cyborg, and I don't know comics, I don't know the cartoons of how Cyborg actually is, but in like the Snyder cut, like it looks like he has like boosters all over his fucking body.
Yeah.
He didn't have that in the original.
Really? How does he fly?
It looked like almost like Iron Man like.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, but like with this one, like they're like fucking everywhere. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'm gonna watch that, get through that, see how that goes. I'm gonna do SCW. I may hit up Steam Hollow tonight for a crafty beer, which
Nice.
You still gotta get out here, man. I mean, dude's putting out 15% alcohol content beers, and they're delicious.
Damn. Very nice.
Yeah. Maybe pick a Friday to come out here. We'll fucking drink it up. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this weekend. I'll be off on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come out on Friday. We'll down some 15% alcohol contents of I think they're like 7-ounce sniffers. What the fuck they're called?
Oh, snifters. I like.
Yeah, it's fucking good. They got a dark cherry one that will fucking blow your balls off. I said it, blow your balls off. So many good things there. Damn, right? All right, guys. Well, as we're wrapping up, we can't leave without reminding you where you could go to get more Geekcast Joe.
If you need more Geekcast Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. Mm-hmm. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Excellent, Joe. Good job. Make sure you pick up your This Freaking Show merchandise at tpublic.com. That's TEEPUBLIC.com. Just by searching TFS. We're part of Freaknet Studios along with Just Freaking Wrestling and the Gray Area. You go to freaknetstudios.com. Check out the amazing podcast as well. Going on to our YouTube page at Freaknet Studios. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. We got a couple of videos up there for you guys to enjoy and check out. Especially the cemetery tours that me and Cartoon Joe did last October. Check out the awesome, amazing cemeteries that Illinois has to offer. I don't know if that's a good way to sell cemeteries, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Also, make sure you find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching This Freaking Show. And, of course, check all your podcast platforms for the podcast that we do release. I'm going to say on a consistent, non-consistent basis, but we're going to get more consistent because that's what we do for our listeners.
Yeah.
That's all I got, guys. So I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for joining the live stream of This Freaking Show. We out.